Hello guys, and welcome to our webinar. My name is Stephen Moss. This is about property sourcing and investments, training and support webinar. So we're talking today about our business as a franchisee network. We're going to get to talk to some of our franchisees that are doing training this week and looking at the points that they're going to cover and how we're going to help. So it's 1 o'clock, we'll get cracking. If there are any queries or questions at any point, please feel free to pop up a question or live chat. Feel free to use that. So we're going to start off with, first of all, the agenda. So I'm going to give you an introduction to myself and some of the team around us. We're going to talk about our 5-day HQ training course, our ongoing training, the support. And these are things as well that relate to having a property business and how important they are. We're also going to look at Sourced, the package that we offer, how you can generate income and money from running a property business like this. And then we're going to look at any questions and answers at the end. So first of all, big hello and nice to meet you. As I said at the very beginning, my name's Stephen Moss. I'm the Managing Director of Sourced. I've been in the property sector for about 15 years. So during those 15 years, I've done lots of different types of ventures, strategies, structures, including building properties from scratch, converting properties, refurbishing properties. So as a team, we've got a lot of experience at head office. I've also been in business through the franchise side for a number of years and was one of the founders and one of the team that started Sourced. So very exciting business to be in, very exciting sector, very wealthy sector, and something that, we're looking to grow and we're looking for the right people to join us. So we're going to look at, first of all, our 5-day training course at head office, what we do and what we cover. These are the sort of things that when we're working with franchisees and when we're working with people that are looking to grow a property investment business, this is what we focus on. So we train franchisees to source investment opportunities, but also as well to package and structure those opportunities, and along with selling them onto investors, as well as cherry picking the deals that are right for them. So it's really important to make sure people are aware that when we refer to a property business, you're talking about having not just packaging and selling deals to investors, but also retaining some deals for yourself and growing your own wealth and growing your own property portfolio in the background. And they're key points that we're going to discuss and touch on throughout the whole discussion. So look at the 5-day training course, what we cover. So one of the key areas is compliance. So we're very keen to make sure that our franchisees are compliant when they're talking to investors, and the investors that work with us follow the rules and do it in the right way. We look at the different strategies. So there are so many strategies and there's so many different new ideas and twists and turns with strategies coming out every single month. What we do is we look at the core strategies. So we look at HMOs, which are house of multiple occupation. We also look at refurbishments. We look at rent to rent. We look at below market value properties, buy to let, developments, joint venture, peer to peer, and a couple of others, depending on what our franchisees are looking to do and what strategy they're interested in. We're also pushing franchisees to their limit to ensure that they hit the ground running. So you're going to get to speak to, or some of our franchisees are joining us now and are going to have a chat about their experience very shortly. We look at real-time sourcing sessions. So I think that's probably one of the key things when we're doing training is actually not just talking about training, open up the laptops, start looking at opportunities that are in your area and discuss them. Look at booking viewings the following week after the training so you're hitting the ground running and getting the most from having the experience in the room. We look at business planning and workshops as well, so that we finish off the end of the week on how we're going to plan, what our goals are, and moving forward to follow that up and grow the business. So some of the key things as well, we bring in the experts. So during our training week, we have a couple of people that pop in and see us. One that some of you guys may have heard of is Tina Walsh. Tina is very well known for her property sourcing compliance business. We also have Chris Kirkwood, who's now actually a member of the team at Sourced HQ. But Chris is very good in terms of the mentorship and covering the different strategies and using his experience as well. So that's training from the experts. So I'm now going to introduce you to two of our franchisees. that are sat here very nervously. It's not the nicest thing. It could be worse, guys. It could be on camera, so don't worry too much. So I'm going to introduce you to Abid, who is in Rugby, and Ian in Oxford. So I don't know if you want to say hello, gentlemen.
Hi guys.
Hi guys.
I'd just like to add, we didn't know we was coming into this room. It's not scripted or anything, so bear with us.
Nobody's put a gun to your head, Ian, so don't try and make that one out. No, I believe it was typically emmalastminute.com, unfortunately. But no, for us, it's good to get you guys now while you're in the training to understand what you're enjoying about the training, what you're finding useful, and then so other people that are listening might be able to pick up and think, oh yeah, that's something I'm interested in. So obviously we looked at your areas. Can you kind of give us a bit of a background in your background or any experience you've got in property, just so the guys that are listening can understand?
Yeah. So hi guys, my name's Ian. I'm Oxford sourced, and I've been a landlord in Oxford for over 10 years and done a couple of development projects on a small scale, and I've been held back by something, as it were. I needed something to sort of kickstart me and give me the energy to get going, really. And yeah, that's what I saw in Sourced, and the training I've got from Sourced is very very varied and quite complete in what's covered. So for me, it's been good so far.
Good so far, good stuff. I like it, because we're nearly at the end of the week.
Yeah.
So that's good. Abid, what about yourself? Your background experience in property?
Yes. Hi everybody. I'm Abid Mirza, and as the guys have said, I'm taking over the Rugby territory. So my background is twofold, really. I did get into property sort of in my early 20s, so we bought a few buy-to-lets. I am an engineer by background, so I quite like methodical processes, which is what I've seen this week. So that tessellates quite well. But also, I did set up a commercial business, if you like. I bought some commercial properties, some retail shops in a high street, which I am converting to residential at the moment. And that's what really triggered me to come into Source, because that's one of the many strategies that the guys use. And I've learned more about that this week, which is excellent, as well as the other techniques. So it made sense for me to look for a company like Source to try and expand whatever I was doing at the moment and get more robust in the whole area. So really very positive for me this week. It's fulfilling what I was hoping it would fulfill, and obviously looking forward to getting out there and just moving forward.
That's it now. Now you've done your training, you're like wild animals on Friday that we let loose into the public, so that's good. Talking about the training, obviously, it's interesting that you talked about your experience and kind of bits that you've probably found that have connected to what you're doing now, or you've done in the past, and how you might be able to change that or expand it. And one of the key things that we cover pretty much throughout the training every day, or we repeat it quite a lot, is the sort of 6 steps that we follow as a business, and that's how we see every kind of strategy works out. If you follow these 6 steps for this strategy, then it will take you hopefully right the way through and you come with a positive outcome. Is there anything, the sort of 6 steps that you'd say stood out to you? Is there any part that you weren't sure in the past that you thought, wow, okay, yeah, that's something that, from the 6 steps typically are what: the research, crunching the numbers, the sourcing, structuring it, securing the deal, packaging, yeah. So is there anything that's kind of stood out to you there that you just kind of was new to you completely, that you thought, right, okay, that's something that I've not thought of or considered?
Yeah, for me, I liked the structure side of it, how you actually put everything together.
Yeah.
Because I've always looked at deals, thought that looks good, but I've not thought about the entry and the exit and how you'd package that to an investor.
Yeah.
What he's going to be looking at rather than the way I see it.
Sure.
And by doing that, actually, you find a lot of loopholes in it yourself.
Yeah.
Not just in that, but the whole 6 steps. You
Yeah.
soon sieve out what you thought was good deals and not actually good source deals at all.
Yeah.
So it is a great format to stick to.
Yeah. So it's identifying, rather than wasting time following it right the way through, you're able to identify a bit quicker. Yeah, this is something that I know would interest my investors, and you can make a move on it and secure it, etc. from there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What about yourself? Similar for yourself?
Yeah, I think the 6 steps in themselves are excellent, because I just keep going back to my engineering background and having methodical processes, and I really like the fact that you got these 6 steps. And in fact, that was a question I asked Paul before I came on a few weeks back. Is there a process that Source follow?
Yeah.
And then lo and behold, first day you got 6 steps. So that's excellent. And I think the securing part of it is good, because you know, you're at that stage. That's probably clearly one of the most important stages, to secure that deal.
Yep.
And again, it's a methodical approach to secure it. So I've been analysing the different ways you would secure the deal.
Yeah.
You know, so
that's probably one of the hardest parts as well, to be honest. I mean, like you said, a lot of property sources and people in the sector don't get the securing quite right, and that, you know, quite often they'll send details out and it'll be open on the market, or other property sources are sending the same details out, and it risks potential commission you can generate. Whereas obviously doing it correctly and following it in the right manner, it's reducing any risk of you not getting paid at the end of it. And obviously that's what we're all here for, which is good. In terms of the different types of investments, is there anything you'd say that it's kind of popped up new? Because obviously we covered quite a few in terms of residential, commercial, new build, hotels, land. Is there anything that stood out to you guys to think, wow, that's something I've not considered before? Or are you both quite focused on, is it residential, commercial? Is there an area that you're more drawn to?
Yeah, so for me, I've looked at the commercial side more now. I've been on the course.
Yep.
Mainly, I suppose, in my area, I found it difficult to find deals where I'm in Oxford on the smaller scales.
Yep.
A lot of it's because regulations of Article 4 and things like that. Whereas the commercial have got more scope. I didn't really think about the conversion side to residential before.
Yeah.
So that's a good.
I bet it's been an eye. It's good as well to have someone in your group like Abid who's going through that process, and you know, so you can kind of pick his brains, and he's doing the same thing, which is really good.
Well, we did actually say we're gonna network, didn't we? And link up. I'm going to go to his place in Rugby, and he's going to come to me in Oxford, and we can use each other's skills to.
Yeah, there's nothing better than actually going out and seeing a site as well, and seeing what, you know, particularly yourself, you're in the middle of it, so people can come out and see what you're doing and put ideas and you know, put thoughts into it, and also come away. And one of the key things from that, we did one. We were doing a conversion on our last training course. We did a site visit. Unfortunately, we pretty much tied that up for this course, but we did a site visit, and the comments that came back of the franchisees were, you know, now I've seen this, I feel like I can achieve it. You know, I feel like it's doable. I can move on to this, and it's quite inspiring, I suppose, in that respect.
Yes.
Which is good. Obviously, I know yesterday you guys had Tina Walsh in terms of the compliance side. I imagine that's quite a new sort of angle from. It kind of doesn't shock, I suppose, but it makes a lot of people think. You know, compliance isn't something a lot of property sources typically think of or consider. As it kind of, you know, has it changed your thoughts on that? Has it made you think, yeah, actually, I need to be more aware of this because there are so many people being caught out in the market currently?
So I think it's very important because, for obvious reasons, from let's say a legislative background, an ethical background, it's very important that whoever you're dealing with knows that they're dealing with somebody who's ethical. So, and that's going to just gain the trust of the investor. Yeah. And as we all know, it's all about relationship building. So that it's good to go through it. And clearly, Tina knows her stuff. I mean, she knows her stuff inside out. And she was very informative, not just in compliance, but in a lot of other areas. We had a good chat with her offline about her experience in this whole industry anyway. Yeah. So, you know, some of the pitfalls. So I think compliance from a procedural standpoint, we're more aware of from yesterday. The level of detail we may or may not need to have to go into. And it's just how to handle that with the investor in a sensitive way, so that they're not bombarded, if you know what I mean. Steve, not bombarded.
I think what you'll find as well, guys, to be honest, is the reason we ended up connecting and utilising Tina was, I don't think Tina knows this in honesty, but when we got one of our first investors in the first sort of property that we were doing, an investor was putting, I think it was about £30,000 into one of the projects. And obviously, from our point of view, the first thing we did was send out the money laundering checks, the forms, all of the information that we need off them. And the investor came back to say, I've invested in 3 other projects. I've never been asked for this information. And from us, we just simply explained, well, look, this is the law. This is what we need to do. And the investor's response was, you know, it's actually nice to see. I've actually got another £150,000 I can invest. Because straight away it gave more credibility that we're doing things properly, we're doing it correctly. And the investors that will turn around and say, I'm not filling this, I'm not doing this, then they're trying to cover something, or it's not the right way to do it. So we have found that by doing it properly and in that manner, it's actually opening us up to more investors and gaining that respect and trust. So
it was probably one of the least things I was looking forward to, the compliance.
Yeah.
And I was actually ready to fall asleep.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether it is.
Did Abid keep pinching you?
Yeah, that's
awake,
probably what it is. No, I mean, Tina's presentation.
For that,
Tina's presentation, she obviously knows her stuff.
Yeah.
But when I actually started listening to what she was saying, I did actually think, I do need to do this.
Yeah.
And just like you said about getting the investor on board, or that confidence, I think it's very important, because the things you actually ask them to do, there shouldn't be any reason for them to hide things anyway.
No, not at all.
You're not really just saying, show us your bank balance, for no reason at all. There's a good compliance reason behind that. And for me, it's the honesty thing. If you're working together, and I want to build regular client and investors, not just a one-off deal.
Yeah.
So, again, it shouldn't be anything that you're scared of saying, and you're protecting each other in the compliance issue later on down the road. So
absolutely. It's quite funny you say that about us being scared to ask, because not just that part, but I know the guys that were in last week and we were talking to, and Keith, one of our new franchisees, he's done a deal before he's kind of started. He's really hit the ground running. We were talking about one of the questions that everyone's scared to ask investors, and that question is, that an investor will make an inquiry, but it's actually, how much money do you have? And it seems to be this big white elephant in the room of people, and what I was trying to explain to the guys then was, actually, by asking that question, you're actually giving confidence to the investor that, if you imagine if you had a meeting and didn't ask it and they walked away, they might only have £500, or they might be thinking, I wonder why he didn't ask me how much I'm looking up to, or, so it is really important to break that barrier down, but treat it naturally to say, so, because it will change what your aspects are in terms
how
of...
can you source anything if you don't know what you're after?
Yeah. So you've got to be clear and open with it.
They might not understand, how much money they need to put in, etc., and think they can just borrow it all, and they can't. So it's good to know. Yeah,
definitely. Absolutely. So you guys excited about your new business starting Monday? Hit the ground running?
Ready to go.
Yes.
There's a lot of work to be done as well, Steve. It's not just we've done the course.
You're at the bottom of the mountain now, so you've got the tools to climb the mountain. So that's just it. We'll be pushing you.
We're both in the engineering game, and it's the start of our apprenticeship. Is the way I see it.
Back to square one.
I like that. Excellent. And your overall experience, how would you sum that up so far this week? I know you're Thursday already, so you're very close to the end. How would you?
Very wide. It covers all the topics, and in some ways I thought, why is it covering so much? Maybe we should have done it over a period of time. But then it's hard to decide which bits wouldn't you be taught, and what you get taught first, because you need to know everything really. Every deal involves all the aspects, and I feel now I'm ready for the questions when an investor mentions things. I wouldn't have heard them before. But now I'm like, I understand that. I've learned that before. And if I haven't learned it completely, I can at least reference it and I can answer them. So I've got a very wide, broad knowledge now compared to what I did before.
Fantastic. Excellent.
Absolutely. Can't really reiterate that anymore. But I think the key thing for me is beyond, it's a very good week schedule. And I think Ian's touched on it has become a little bit compressed in certain areas, but you'd expect that to a certain extent, the amount of knowledge you want to try and get across. And it's all, every day for me has been refreshing, because I'm learning something new every single day. And at the same time, it's good because you're setting us up. You're not just letting us go, you're setting us up with some confidence and some further tools for next week, which for me personally is very good. And I'm happy that that's there. And I'm normally quite a reserved guy, and I would normally go into something next week quite reserved, but being quite honest, I'm feeling quite confident, and
fantastic.
Thanks for that.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, gents. You can relax now. You survived, so I owe you both a beer. So thank you very much. I'll finish this off, and you guys can go and get your lunch.
We'll hold you that tonight.
I know you will. I know, yeah. I'll put it in writing. Cheers, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks. Right, guys. So we're also going to talk about the ongoing training and what we offer, not just after, not just on the training week, but what's ongoing and the areas we cover and help and support. So after the 5-day training course, as a business, we also have a national meeting. That national meeting is really every other month. It's the whole network are invited to come along to a training event. The network talk about what they want to be trained on. So we bring in specialist trainers as well. And we look at getting people that are focused in particular subjects and a specialist in their area to help the network and grow. We also run a webinar for our franchisees every month, talking about different subjects, where the business is, what the kind of hurdles in the sector and the industry are at the moment, and how we can get around them and how we can help them. We record all our training, so everything's online for the guys to follow up and look at any point. We hold workshops. So around the UK, you'll have seen some dates on our website. We've got a workshop at the end of October, and we're also doing a networking event at the end of October as well, which will be really cool. It's something we're looking to roll out across the network. One-to-one events, so it's something we're very keen to do and get out and see our franchisees, see what they're up to, see how we can help them and support them. We have a support desk at head office, and we have a digital manual. So at any point, anybody can log on and read through the manual to make sure they have a full understanding of different key areas. So we talked about the bi-monthly training sessions. So they're run by a leading industry expert. It's an opportunity as well to meet the other franchisees and network with them. So like-minded people that are focused and working on the same types of business. We can match investors to property deals. So again, sort of sitting around discussing what type of deals you've got available or what type of investors you've got available and putting those together. The webinars and weekly vlogs. So we add these to our system and they're dedicated on, looking at different topics in the industry, such as the deal calculator, industry news, changes in the network, and recaps as well of what's going on and where we're pushing the business forward. So it's more about kind of ensuring that you're not just out there working and feeling that it's a sole trade. It's making sure that you're aware that you're actually part of a network, and if there's anything we can do to help, we're here to support. And the guys in our marketing team, so we have a team at head office, the marketing guys. It's their mission to make you the expert, so it's their job to push you, promote you, and generate you leads. And we've got some big changes to our lead generation coming at the end of October, where we'll be looking to heavily increase the number of leads that come to our franchisees. But from a support angle, we're more than just a training company. For us, this is a business partnership over a 5-year period, making sure that we work closely with our franchisees and making sure that they're successful, because by them being successful, we're successful. So working together throughout the period. In terms of exposure, so this kind of gives you an understanding as a business what we do when we've got a property and we're looking to sell it. So we upload it to 126 portals across 69 countries with 170 million potential buyers. So here's an example of some of the property websites that we work with overseas. So they're all aimed and dedicated at countries that we know invest back into the UK. So this is a way that we generate a lot of property investor leads that are then passed on to our network as well. We have a professional and top Google ranked website with over 100,000 visits per month. So again, another way that we promote your services, your business, and in your area is through the Google ranked pages. We have a separate business called Property Buyers UK. So this business or this brand is all about generating leads in your area for your business. So people that are looking to sell their house quickly can fill out the forms and generate leads coming directly through to you. We do the biggest property show in the UK is in London, which is in April and October. So we have a stand at the event and we invite all our franchisees to come along, meet investors directly, pitch deals, build relationships, network with them, and grow those relationships, and more importantly, sell some deals, which is what we're all about. So a little bit more about Sourced ourselves. We're the first and only property investment franchise in the UK. So quite unique. There's quite a lot of other companies that work in this sector, but predominantly they offer training, whereas what we're here to do is offer resources such as finance, funding, and different areas. We're unlike other franchise businesses because we don't take a percentage of your turnover. You don't require any offices or staff, so it's a very quick setup. We're part of a national network of colleagues operating as experts in their area, the opportunities to work on projects together. The backing of a trusted brand and strong reputation. No experience is necessary. We offer full training and support. Much more than a training course, because the ongoing support that's required. And head office behind you generating leads and taking care of your marketing activities as well. One of the key things and one of the big drivers behind our business is we can offer 100% funding on profitable investment opportunities that you find. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. As a business, our mission is to become the ultimate brand name for property investment services in the UK, working with investors from around the world. We've already looked at how we get those investors in through the different network of portals that we utilize. So for us, our main role is to obviously create financial freedom for you in your own property business. And we're there to support that and show you how we do it with the proven model and support. As an investor, if you're looking at our business as an investor, you'll see that on our platform, we have 3 key areas: our learn, search, and invest. And then we're supported by the network. So we're going to touch on those and we're going to explain what they are if you're a property investor looking at Sourced. The first one is Learn. So Learn is a free online property investment training course. So you can come on, you can follow different courses, you can learn about what it takes to create a HMO, manage a HMO, follow that process right the way through. From a franchisee point of view, it's fantastic because we're offering investors free content to learn, trust, and communicate with our brand, and obviously build relationships with them as well. Our search engine has thousands of properties across the UK. It is used by over 100,000 investors every month. And again, it's there to promote and send leads through to franchisees as and when they're required. Our invest section is our peer-to-peer lending platform. So the peer-to-peer lending platform allows us to offer our franchisees 100% funding on profitable deals. So it means that rather than having to put your own cash into deals consistently, you're able to keep that cash, use the funding, and do multiple deals at the same time. Peer-to-peer, so we can kind of touch on and explain what that is. Typically, peer-to-peer is a group of investors putting in money into a platform that's then sent out to a borrower. In return, they get a security, which is on the property, and the borrower repays them the money plus a percentage of interest. So our average is 10%. What this is basically doing is cutting out the banks and building societies so that the investors are getting the return directly rather than the banks. So as I said before, typically 10%. It's a great way for us to fund franchisees' projects, and that's what we utilize it for. And talking about the franchisees, so the network we currently have is a huge asset to the business, because one of the key things investors like is dealing with property sources that are in the area of properties we're selling. So what do we mean by that? So if we've got a property to sell in Manchester, as an example, typically with investment companies, you may actually be looking at a property in Wales, but the property sourcing company here in Manchester. Whereas if it was in Wales with ourselves, you would speak to the franchisee in Wales, and it just gives them more confidence, the fact that they know the area, they know the schools, they know the type of tenants, and it gives reassurance to our investors that they're dealing with somebody credible as well. The package, in terms of what we offer as a franchise package, so you have access to our investor database and lead generation as a national database, bespoke software and website, property leads that we generate, access to the network, so we meet up every other month, a development program put in place, full support from HQ, exclusive territory, and ongoing marketing support as well. So this very much explains about how we work in terms of our workflow as a business. So if you were a franchisee with Sourced and you found a deal, your next step would be to run that through the figures, make sure it worked, submit it onto our CRM system. Head office will then review that for you, and they'll feed back to say, yes, this works. Here's the 2 options. Would you like to sell it? If you'd like to sell it, the sales team will then start generating leads for it. If you'd like to keep it and do it yourself, then the finance team will look at what you need in terms of, do you need a project manager? Do you need finance? Do you need developers? And how can we help those resources? So that's kind of an overview of our workflow in the business. Show me the money. So some of the key areas, obviously, it's very important to kind of understand how you can generate and what sort of levels of money you can generate from property sourcing and developing properties. So if you were to work on just the basis of sourcing a property and selling it 1 per month, you'd be looking at an average fee of £3,000 to £5,000. If you were to do a title split or some kind of back-to-back structure every quarter, you'd be looking at £20,000. And then if you were to be involved in some kind of small development, typically £150,000 as a fee per annum. So depending on what stage you're at as a franchisee and investor, and depending on what your cash flow is like, we would build a plan depending on what you require. So it might be a case where you come to us and say, actually, I don't need the monthly or quarterly. and quite happily with the annual. If I can work on that basis, I know I'm not going to generate income for maybe the next 9 months, but when I do generate income, it's going to be large lump sums. Alternatively, you might be looking for monthly, at which point we can look at different strategies that will help you. And one of the key questions we get asked all the time is how quickly can we earn? And that really depends on yourself. That depends on, how quickly you hit the ground running, if you're full-time, part-time, and what strategies you're looking to do. As I said before, if you're looking at the developed ones on a larger scale, then the reality of it is you've got to account the time it'll take for that development to be done. So it might take a little bit more time before you actually get paid. So just keep that in mind. But it's something that we will discuss with you as well. One of the things as well I always like to highlight to people that are looking to potentially join our network is, for us, we're going to teach you a lot about structures and strategies, and 100% funding. We want you to then utilize that for your own portfolio as well as selling investment properties to investors. So the bigger your portfolio, the more investors you will attract, and obviously it shows that you've been successful as well. We assist all our franchisees in these points, so developing a plan, a strategy, managing your time effectively, location, identifying the location you work from, research, learning the industry, not working alone, part of a team, budgeting, networking, and creating a power team as well. So there's some really key areas, particularly if you're looking to run a property business. So next steps, if this is something of interest, download our new franchise prospectus. It's on our website, sourcedfranchise.com. Speak to our franchise manager and arrange to come and meet us at head office. Any questions? Anybody got anything that they would like to jump in and ask? If there are any questions, please feel free at the end to contact me directly, or Claire as well. So, we've just got a quick question that's popped up. Let's have a look at that. Can you have another job? So yeah, we do have some guys which are part-time with us. I'll give you a really good example. We have one gentleman, Angus, in Scotland, who has dedicated 1 day a week to this. He's done very well. He's just hit his 6-month period. So initially, we put a plan together with Angus to hit his target within 2 years. Realistically now, where he is after 6 months, he's going to do that within 12 months. So he's doing very well. He's very focused, very ambitious, and very hardworking. But, it is possible to run it alongside as long as you do dedicate that time and ensure that you spend the time on the business. I hope that answers your question. Oh, another one just popped up. What are the different costs? So in terms of the different costs, so we have a franchise fee to join the franchise, which is just under £10,000 plus VAT. So that includes your training, marketing materials that are provided, and starting pack, which again we can send all the details over to you. The ongoing costs for the business are you have three. You have a marketing, a support, and a completion. So the marketing cost is £300 per month, and that includes everything from email campaigns, lead generation, and promoting your business. The support fee is £750 per month, and that includes access to the investor database, the CRM system, the systems that we utilize, and the lending platform as well. So now that's free for the first 9 months. So that gives you time to grow your pipeline and grow your business, so that you've got money and income coming in. And the final one is the completion one. So the final one, the completion fee, which is £250 per property. So for every property you complete on, our fee is just simply £250 fixed fee. So all these costs and details are in our prospectus, which you can download on sourcefranchise.com. Alternatively, if you info@source.co or email claire@source.co, Claire will be able to send you some information as well. Oh, one quick question's popped up again. Oh, thank you. No problem. So yeah, I hope I've explained it in enough detail. I'd like to thank the guys for popping in on their lunch and give you an understanding of the business while they're in the training. That's been really good to understand where they're coming from, what they've taken from this week. As I say, if you do have any questions, please feel free to contact us, and have a fantastic day. Thank you.